honestly, like, if us lot were making a Star Wars video, I'd be like, yeah, let's test screen it. Let's see what people think. I actually would.
And plus, let's remember, the version that we got is the version after the test screenings.
Well, we've read
God knows what they saw. Those
hideous abortion.
I would have liked to have seen the Lucas cut that apparently got produced, because I think they got to the stage where they'd edited that and it was all filmed.
Did?
That's what, according to the rumors anyway.
that one, that one I'm a bit more skeptical on. Like, it could have happened, but that's a pretty extreme thing.
Well, this is. I'll just read this out quickly because it's kind of relevant to this. So, this begins with saying, after Colin had left the project, that'd be Colin Trevorrow, who's supposed to do Rise of Skywalker, and backed out. Rian Johnson was immediately Lucasfilm's top choice to take over. However, Iger and Horn weren't impressed with The Last Jedi and thought it was a step down from The Force Awakens. This promoted Iger to personally offer Abrams the gig. JJ was not a fan of The Last Jedi. Actually, that's putting it gently. He absolutely loathed TLJ and had some serious beef with Rian Johnson, which, by the way, that's pretty strong. But this film,
I believe that 100%.
This film has serious beef with The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's weird how they've structured it, because so much of it is like trying to recontextualize a lot of the things in The Last Jedi, but not completely contradict it.
Yeah,
like raise parentage and so on.
I think
what I really meant was to...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, except the one line they bring up for that being true is like, your parents were nobodies. It's your grandparents that were somebody. Except all of the other lines, all of the other lines that he said was like, they were drinkers who sold you for drinking money. That's not true.
I didn't allow.
He said I never lied to you. It's like, yeah, he did.
And even if the person doesn't have an important position, the fact that he was the son of Palpatine means he was not a nobody. That's a profoundly significant.
Yes, you're right, especially in the context. Whether we like it or not,
Jaden Smith is not a nobody.
Yeah, because the whole point of the whole nobody thing is that it's not a Kenobi, not a Skywalker, not a Solo, not a Palpatine. That was the point of the nobody
only people
thing.
In the galaxy that matter, apparently.
Right. Well, but that was something I actually kind of agree that it would have been. It's like, oh, does it have to be someone we already know from a strong family? But the problem was Rey was so fucking powerful. So we had to like explain.
How are you going to explain?
They introduced for the sequel trilogy, though.
You and your thoughts.
You would think that if they were going to try and explain some of her OP power, that they wouldn't have just dumped on so much more power on top of her. They made her OP beyond belief.
The tug of war with the spaceship was just incredible.
Holy Jedi.
I was laughing my ass off.
That's the thing, though, with the whole parent thing, because I actually would prefer it if, like, her parents weren't, tied to the same 3 family trees for the whole time, but because she was so powerful, it's like, all right, what's going on?
They fucked themselves over.
They should have introduced a new character for it.
Imagine if you had it like this. Imagine if you set up with something like, I don't know, her parents were Jedi Knights who were escaping Order 66, and maybe they got killed and she was left on her own. So we know that she's Jedi and we know that she has a beef against the Sith. And now you have some good old interesting character development.
What's that?
Which there was none of in this movie.
Well, I was going to say, before we get to that, I'll carry on with this. So, this moves on to say, putting it gently, he only came back if he could have complete control and wouldn't have to compromise with Kennedy or Lucasfilm's story group. JJ's first move was to consult with George Lucas on the story for Episode 9. They came up with a story that had strong connections to the Clone Wars TV show, which featured the dagger of Mortis and Matt Smith as the son of Mortis, which would have been the film's antagonist. The story also used many elements from
I remember that guy.
George Lucas's unused sequel trilogy treatments. Disney really wanted this movie to be another Force Awakens in the sense that it would unite all fans and be at least initially universally loved. After Solo's flop at the box office, TLJ's backlash, and the decline of Star Wars merchandise, it was paramount for Disney that Episode 9 be a success with successful fans.
Disney's not going to be happy.
They did not want another Last Jedi on their hands. The film's direction changed radically during around midway of principal photography. JJ told the Disney executives that this film would not satisfy and unite all fans. This is where the studio meddling began, which led to the second abandonment of George Lucas's ideas. Nearly every story detail for the initial script was either completely abandoned or bastardized. Palpatine was always to have a presence in this movie, but not alive or not as the main villain. The main villain was supposed to be the son of Mortis. Disney feared that the general audiences would be alienated, as they wouldn't know who Son of Mortis was,
no clue, yeah.
which would make the movie harder to market, and which led to the choice of replacing the son with Palpatine, and Matt Smith was completely removed from the movie. Disney ordered extensive reshoots that went on throughout the year leading up to early October. J.J. Abrams was not happy with many of the changes that Disney made to Rise of Skywalker. I don't know the specifics, but let's just say he isn't at all pleased with the final product. Essentially, the majority of the movie was just reshot and reconfigured this year, at the same time leaving a ton of important scenes on the cutting room floor. I don't have any more info on the making of The Rise of Skywalker other than that, but I'm hoping that this post gets people with better sources to give out more details.
Man, if that happens, then that kind of vindicates JJ a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
damn, I feel bad for him now, actually.
I feel bad for him if that's true. Yeah.
Can I just say, I think Disney succeeded though in unifying the Star Wars fan base, but unifying them all in hatred for this abomination of a film.
They turned the fandom to the dark side.
Conspiracy time.
Their hatred.
What if they did that on purpose so that they can make another sequel trilogy? As like, let's try again.
Honestly, I'd be on board with that. I would be on board. Like, start it over. Let's start again.
It's just such a shame. Losing Carrie Fisher just means it would never be as viable.
No,
but I honestly would get behind it.
And it's crazy because like Matt Smith being in it, I thought that was the case for like a good year. As far as I was aware, he was definitely going to be in it. Not like that lends credence to this sort of post, as well as a couple of other details. And if it's true, it's like, yeah, man, like what the hell is going on at Lucasfilm? Like they're so desperate to make money. They just want to make money. Like,
and they're not
because now that the so many, Carrie Fisher's gone, and I don't think you'll ever get Harrison Ford back unless
he won't come back.
Well, I honestly don't think Mark Hamill would come back either.
Yeah, it was a stretch. Yeah. So I reckon that if they reboot, and I hope they do, fingers crossed, but we could only find out, if they reboot it shortly after A Last Jedi and recast Luke Skywalker and stuff and bring it and start off closer in time frame and have a whole movie series of them trying to rebuild the Republic and stop any vestiges of
that would make a lot more sense. That would make a lot more sense.
I would love to see, you get to see Luke in his prime again, like as the master Jedi training new Jedi. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Rian Johnson, he was on Twitter and I think he was responding to somebody about his interpretation of Luke, and he said something about not wanting to give Luke a video game permanent power up. But my immediate thought is, do you not understand why it would be really interesting to see Luke as a Jedi master, training apprentices? How is that not the coolest idea?
Yeah. In the first time in God knows how long for the Jedi,
exactly.
You have a guy who's teaching people, and he doesn't have a proper master of his own. A lot of it's going to be on his own.
And he's really going to try and be responsible, whereas the Jedi before were kind of bureaucratic and inefficient.
Well, actually, even in the expanded universe, Luke decided to make some fundamental changes in the Jedi Order that he felt the Jedi Order made mistakes. And for once, he allowed Jedi to marry and have relationships because he felt that was one of the causes of the... Yeah, that's why Darth Vader fell. The denial of all that and stuff.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense that Luke, of all people, would do that. He's the family man. He's the relationships man. He's the cares about other people man.
Fucking made out with his sister.
Yeah, boy.
He is the family man.
Oh, no.
That's how much he loves his family.
You just watched a segment from Every Frame of Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to Mauler's channel to catch new episodes live on Saturdays, and tune into the EFAP channel to see full episodes, movie and TV commentaries, and gaming streams. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for daily highlights, supercuts, and shorts. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to the original videos and ways to support the crew. Thanks for watching.